Okay, now what we'd like to do is show you how to use the new DVD player. Currently in the software, there's not actually a shortcut button, but in the future, under Window, as we click it, we're going to notice that in the list by Multimedia Player and Flash Player, there'll be an additional button that will say DVD Player, but currently it's not yet installed. So for now, I'm going to hit the OK, go back to the training screen. Temporarily, I'm simply going to go up to the Minimize button in the upper right-hand corner. We'll click. This will minimize the training screen. Now right there at the top right-hand corner, we're going to notice an icon that says BMR DVD.exe. Okay. What we want to do is we're going to go ahead and double click this. As we double click it, we notice what appears is BrainMaster DVD player. Okay. So what I'd like to do is I'm now going to bring the training screen back, and I simply scroll down to the taskbar and hit Training. Okay. And we have our training screen back. Okay. Now we see our BrainMaster DVD player in the lower left-hand corner. And as we pan in, we're going to notice buttons similar to what you're used to seeing for rewind, fast forward, pause, play, and etc. So I'm simply going to hit play. As I hit play, you'll notice we now have an actual visual screen that we happen to be playing the movie Ice Age. And you're going to notice that there's a feedback option happening here. While the client's meeting criteria, the animated movie, or it could be any DVD that you choose, is clear and you can see it quite easily. While the client fades out of criteria or falls off task, you notice a contrast difference, that it actually fades to black. This is very helpful because it's an intuitive type of training. Immediately as the video fades to black, your first instinct is to concentrate, which helps bringing you back up on task. This is very beneficial for a homeschooling scenario with curriculum type DVDs, or simply using movies as your visual feedback. This window is also resizable, so we could simply make it a little smaller, then simply left click and hold, and this screen can be placed wherever you'd like on the training screen. So as we do that, we can then also, the player itself can now be minimized, so it'll actually disappear out of your view. Now as we're looking at the training screen, we now have the captured window of the movie playing, and you're seeing that the feedback, as it fades to black, it's in and out. Very beneficial type feedback. This will also, in the future, give you the capability of modulating not only the contrast, but also the sound. So you'll be able to get a combination of modulated sound along with modulated video. Okay, we're going to go ahead and let that continue to play. And then you can also imagine that if we had dual monitors, we could simply left click, drag, and move on to a different monitor. So your client could be watching their movie while you're watching their clinical feedback. Okay. Now what I'd like to do is I'm going to resize this slightly. We're going to go up to the word display, and you're going to notice just as a Windows property, anytime you click on a background type window, it is going to cover up the initial window that you're watching, but it's not disappearing permanently, it's simply covering it temporarily. We're going to turn off the frequency spectrum, and then I can simply click back on the actual taskbar and the movie comes back. And that's just a simple Windows property. Okay. So you could set up your own training screen to have a video playing. You could also then go to, for instance, the word window. As I click that, I get that pop-up box again, and you can choose a different display to watch. Let's say you wanted to watch the numbers display. Okay. As we zoom into the numbers, we can see it's giving us actually a numeric version of the microvolt level of each component. So I can kind of place it there and then simply click back on my DVD window so I can begin building a training screen that I like. Seeing the necessary data, as long as I don't click on the training screen and it disappears. Okay. So some interesting things that you can do. Okay. As I can then close Windows, the other option for me is to simply go to the bottom of the training screen. Oops. If I change the size, we can move this around. Simple windows. And this will protect from covering windows up. Okay. And these I'm doing this rather quickly, just showing you some of the different options you have, some of the different screens and positioning you're welcome to use to set up actually the screen that suits your needs. Depending on whether you're running dual monitors or single monitors, you can decide which data you need to see for your clinical needs. Okay. We can also, by going down to the taskbar and clicking on the Setup Home Screen tab, we can bring back the option of looking at the initial screen. As I click this, you're going to notice a window appear where, for instance, we could go into review session results, and you can see that the graphing that's happening in real time, it's actually averaging and updating every minute, but it immediately sends the data to the review screen as it's happening. So if we, again, with dual monitors, we could have the review screen on one monitor and the rest of the feedback on another. Oftentimes what I've seen people do is they'll resize this down a little bit, and they may have this running on the training screen next to the video, so that they can keep an eye on what the trending or averaging of the amplitudes is doing over time. Okay, the flexibility is there. You'll want to take your time, try a lot of the different screens, set up a configuration that works for your needs. Now, for now, what I'd like to do is I'm going to go ahead and stop the training screen and go over how you would send a session to a remote client, for instance, for remote training. So we're going to go ahead and hit stop. You're going to notice that a dialog box opens that asks, are you sure you want to stop running? This is so you don't accidentally close the training screen in session. So we go ahead and we hit OK. That's going to stop. We're then also going to click on our DVD window, click the red X, we'll close that, close our training screen, close our review screen, close our thermos, and we're back to the setup home screen.